Thank you for listening to the Realistic Careers podcast with Tammie, Ballis. Everything we speak about on this episode are my opinions and not advice. Please do your own research. So today we are helping an Instagram follower by the name of Pete who is having issues getting into disability support work. The DM reads, "Hey Tammie, I really want to get into disability support, but I don't have any experience in the industry yet. I've finished my Certificate 3 and I've applied for jobs but haven't heard back. I've only worked in hospitality before, mainly in a bar, so I don't know how to make that relevant. My resume is made with Canva, and now I'm wondering if that's the reason why I'm not getting interviews. I've only done one placement, so I'm not sure what to put on my resume to stand out. Do I need to volunteer first? How do I get my foot through the door when everyone wants experience?" So that is typical of someone who is wanting to get into disability support. As an ex-disability support recruiter, I know that the industry is extremely popular, and the reason why is because you don't have to have many qualifications. Some jobs don't require any qualifications at all. You can jump in, get paid quite well to do the job. So if you go on Seek, today is the 15th of February, you will see around 10,000 disability support work jobs Australia-wide. That's huge. And it begs the question, if everyone's looking for staff but no one's getting jobs, what's going on, right? And so in Pete's case, he's one of the people that's been applying to jobs and not getting any callbacks. And I think there's a few reasons why. Now, the thing is, the 2026 job market is brutal. We know this from 2025. So it's the typical problem of too many people are applying to the jobs and it's impossible for recruiters or hiring managers to screen all of the resumes. It could be that Pete doesn't have the keyword disability support in his resume. So when you hear me speak about applicant tracking systems, recruitment platforms, databases, they are becoming more and more sophisticated. A lot of them do now have AI. But a basic keyword search like disability support is one that a recruiter or a hiring manager might search in a job ad or might ask the database to search that particular word. So those resumes come out on top. So if Pete doesn't have any experience, he hasn't got disability support in his resume. That might be one problem. How do you get around this? So if you've downloaded my resume templates from my website, realisticcareers.com.au, you will see that I've got your name and then underneath your name is your job title. You can also put your future job title. And what I would suggest Pete to do is put future disability support worker. And that shows the reader that this person isn't experienced, but they're wanting to get into the industry. And it also ticks the keyword search. That's what I suggest Pete to do. Now, with regards to the resume, if you have a colourful resume, you've seen plenty of them on the disability support Facebook groups. As a recruiter, they're a spanner in the works for a few reasons. Mainly, they're difficult to read. So when we're screening hundreds and hundreds of resumes, your experience doesn't jump out. And if you've got the experience in the wrong spot, it's not going to do any favours, especially for education. Pete is qualified, so we want to see if he's got the Certificate 3 in individual support or community services. If it's hidden in that colourful resume, it's not going to be seen. So as I always suggest, use an easy-to-read Word format style resume. And since Pete is new, I would put education up the top. Another suggestion I would give Pete is to do the NDIS worker modules. You can get this on the NDIS Commissioner website. And even though it is a module that you need to do once you become a disability support worker, it looks great on a resume if you do it beforehand. It just shows that you're prepared for the industry. Now, the problem Pete has as well is that he doesn't have disability support experience or any sort of support experience. Now, that's okay. You'll see some job ads that don't require any experience because the facility or the organisation will train you on the job. They can also give you TAFE certificates while you're on the job. So technically your placements are you working, but that's another podcast. What I would suggest for Pete to do, number one, is yes, do some volunteer work. He asked if he needed to do volunteer work. Volunteer work looks amazing on a disability support resume. It shows that you're getting some experience. It shows that you're doing the community a service. It shows that you're donating your time. And especially when you're donating your time, non-for-profits love to see that. And as a disability support recruiter, I've hired people that have only had volunteer experience and they've worked out to be amazing support workers because they've truly wanted to get into the job and they've truly wanted to get in there and help people. So I would suggest volunteer experience. You can do this legitimately. So what I would do is I would Google not-for-profits that do disability support work, and then I would apply to do volunteer work with them. Now, the beauty of this is it shows that you know the company. It shows that you are willing to donate your time, and they do have dedicated teams for volunteers. So that's a great way to start. What I would also do is go on to volunteer.com.au. They are run by Seek, and it's basically a job board just for volunteers. So it's not paid work, but it's volunteer work. Another thing I would suggest Pete to do if he's having problems getting into disability is to maybe try aged care. Aged care is similar, but it is different to disability. However, it looks amazing on a resume. It shows that, yes, you can work with heightened behaviours, so dementia patients, but it also shows that you can do personal care because personal care is a big aspect of working in aged care. And so if you've got that experience in a paid capacity, it shows that you're resilient and it shows that you know how to do the job. I would suggest doing that for around 6 months or so and then see how you go and start applying to disability support agencies. Now, Chris mentioned that he's only worked in hospitality, mainly in a bar. I wouldn't let that let you down or put you down because as a disability support recruiter, I've hired many people who have worked in a bar because it shows that they can de-escalate heightened situations. So that looks amazing. I would also mention that in your resume. Remember, people that have got bar work or people that work in bars have the responsible services of alcohol, and you have to manage people who are intoxicated. You have to, get security involved, maybe call the police. You understand how to de-escalate. So that's amazing experience. Maybe put that in your resume as well, that you de-escalate heightened behaviours or you de-escalate situations where a patron was intoxicated, because it shows, again, that you're resilient and it shows that you're ready to work in disability. And the final thing I would tell Pete is to get on the phone. This one's a big one. Get on the phone if you can. So if you see a job advertisement, I would give them a call if they've got the number on there and say, "Hi, my name's Pete. I've applied to your disability support job. Can you please check that my resume made it through the system?" Then the recruiter will put you on hold. Once they find it, then I want you to ask, "Okay, well, do I have the experience required?" And that will initiate a conversation with the recruiter, and it might lead to a phone interview. The beauty of getting on the phone is showing the potential recruiter or hiring manager how excellent your communication skills are, your verbal communication skills. It's highly important. You do need to have amazing communication skills to work in disability support. So you're ticking that box. It also shows that you're assertive and that you're motivated, because you also need to have those qualities when you're applying in disability support. And I can guarantee you in 2026, they're either emailing or they're just waiting to hear back from the job ad. That's not going to help. You need to get in front of them. So in Australia, the NDIS and disability support There are a lot of gaps, there are a lot of problems, and a lot of them aren't your fault as an applicant. It's unorganisation on the behalf of the facility. Think about it. A lot of people that run NDIS businesses aren't experienced, or they're not experienced business owners, and most people don't have experience in recruitment, and disability being the industry that it is and getting the high volume of applicants, most managers don't know how to handle that because they're not trained. It could also be, I'm just going to put this out there, that yes, they will take people with no experience, but it might be that their clients need disability support workers with some sort of experience, because as you know, all clients have different abilities. Disability isn't the same across the board. Everybody's different. So it might be that these clients, where you're applying, need to have people that are experienced. I'll give you an example. There are some clients that require 2 support workers to 1. So just take that as you will, but understand a lot of it's not your fault. It's gaps in the system. It's incredibly hard. It makes you feel terrible. But if you can fix all of those things that I've spoken about, I'm pretty sure you're going to be able to get a disability support job soon. Thank you so much for listening to the Realistic Careers podcast. I would love it if you could please like and subscribe, share it with someone that you think it will help, and if you're in the job market, I hope you get hired soon.